Morning, sir. Can you please state your first and last name and spell it for the record?
First name Robert, common spelling. Last name Rondos, R-O-N-D as in dog, O-S.
And where are you employed?
Tarpon Springs Police Department.
How long have you been an officer, or how long have you been employed by the Tarpon Springs Police
A
Department?
little over 13 years.
And in what capacity?
I'm assigned to patrol as a police officer.
Have you worked in that capacity the entire time you've been with Tarpon Springs PD?
Yes.
Do you have any prior law enforcement experience?
Yes.
Where was that from?
Almost 2 years in Pasco County.
What sort of training and education have you had in your years in law enforcement?
Well, when you first get into law enforcement, you have the basic academy. After that, you go through field training, FTO, and then throughout my career, I've been involved in a lot of like tactics, specialty units as in dive team, a lot more training with those positions as well.
And were you working in your capacity as an officer with the Tarpon Springs Police Department on January 1st, 2019?
Yes.
Do you recall responding to a welfare check to 1954 Juanita Way?
I do.
On that date. Do you recall what you were called to that residence for?
It was a welfare check. The caller was a son of one of the subjects. I know they stated that they haven't talked to their father in a couple of weeks, and were concerned.
Can you explain to the jury what a welfare check is?
So welfare check is, we get them almost every shift, if not every other shift. Welfare check is, it could be something from somebody fell, not answering the door, to they haven't spoke to somebody in X amount of days, not answering the phone. So we pretty much go and check their well-being.
How much information did you have about this welfare check when you started to respond?
Very little.
Did you make contact with the caller who had requested the welfare check?
I did over the phone.
And did you obtain additional information from him on the way?
Yes.
After you had obtained that information, did you have any concerns about this welfare check?
Concerns were based off of his concerns, that he hasn't, I believe when I called him, he told me he hadn't spoken to them since his birthday, which was on December 13th, I believe. And it was very unusual that he hasn't heard from them, from his father, and then also his mother, or stepmother.
When you arrived on scene, were you alone?
Yes.
Did you park at the residence or somewhere else?
No, I just parked one mobile home over.
Okay, and why was that?
Just basic officer safety. You don't pull right up in front of a house.
Did you request any backup?
Not immediately. I did not.
Were welfare checks like this fairly run-of-the-mill and generally not dangerous in nature?
Correct.
After you got out of your vehicle, did you approach the residence?
Yes.
Did you notice anything unusual as you approached?
I did.
And what was that?
There's a large hole, like a trench, a large hole in the front yard.
What did it look like to you?
Honestly, looked like a grave.
And where exactly was it in relation to the residence, driveway, things of that nature?
It was adjacent to the driveway, the carport area. It was only a few feet from the actual driveway itself.
As you approached the residence, did anything else strike you as unusual as you got closer?
Yes.
And what was that?
As soon as I got closer to the residence, I noticed an obvious odor of human decomposition.
Is this a smell that you're familiar with?
Yes.
Is the smell unique in nature?
It's very unique.
Now, what does this clue you into as you're approaching?
That there's possibly a deceased individual inside that home.
Okay. Did you attempt to enter the residence at that time?
Not immediately, no.
And why was that?
I waited. That's when I asked for other units to respond.
And is that because of your concerns about the odor of human decomposition?
Yes.
Once backup had arrived, did you attempt to make entry to the residence?
Not immediately yet, no.
And why was that?
I basically walked around the outside of the house, checked the doors, windows. I noticed a lot of flies on the windows, and pretty much checked the perimeter before we even attempted contact or make entry into the home.
Were the flies on the windows inside the house or outside the house?
They were inside.
Did additional units respond
Yes.
as well? Once you had even more backup, did you attempt to make entry at that point?
I did. I walked up to the front door, I knocked on the front door. There was no answer. While I was knocking on the front door, there was a rake and a shovel, like right there in the driveway as well, that had like similar colored dirt on it still from that hole.
Okay.
We had no answer there at the front door.
Were you verbally announcing yourself
Yes.
at the time? At that point, were you still treating this as a welfare check?
Yes, sir.
And at this point, did you have heightened concern about what was going on or what had happened inside the residence?
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Did you eventually find a entry point that would allow you access to the residence?
Yes.
And where was that?
So there, just pretty much in front of the car in the driveway was just a screened-in porch. That screened-in porch door was unlocked. And then once inside that porch, the sliding glass doors to the home were also unlocked.
Okay. And did you access the interior of the residence through that door?
Yes.
Did you continue to announce yourself while you were doing it?
Yes, sir.
Did the intensity of the odor become stronger as you entered the residence?
Yes, absolutely.
What did you observe when you first entered the residence through that sliding door?
So through the sliding door, the glass door, I could see the interior. It was a mess. It almost looked ransacked.
Okay. What room did you enter first?
So it would have been kind of like a breakfast area, kind of just on the side of the kitchen. That would have been the room I entered through the sliding glass door into the home.
Okay. Did you observe spoiled food inside the residence?
I did.
Did you observe dirty diapers on the floor of the residence?
I did.
Did you observe a drop cloth in the residence?
Later on in the residence, as we started to clear the home, yes. But in that sliding glass door, you could see there was a couch there that also had blood on it.
Okay. How much blood was it? Was it a little bit of blood, a lot of blood?
I wouldn't say it was like a significant amount, but it was a decent amount of blood.
Was it very obvious?
Yes.
Did you, you mentioned clearing the residence. Can you explain to the jury what clearing the residence means?
So with this case here, when you clear a home, you obviously have more than just one officer. This isn't like an immediate dynamic entry. This is a slow, methodical clearing, using your angles. Pretty much we're clearing the house safely, and then also determining if there is anyone inside and if they, of course, do need help.
Now, you mentioned that this drop cloth wasn't something you encountered until you had started going through the residence. About how far into the residence was it before you started?
So I would say it was probably like a family room, living room area, just outside the kitchen.
Okay. Did you notice anything about the drop cloth that indicated if it had been put out recently or if it had been there for a long time?
Yes. The drop cloth, it looked like it was just taken out of a package. It still had the creases and the seams in it from being folded up. And it also had patio blocks or like landscaping rocks from outside, came from outside, that were holding down the corners of the rug.
Okay. Did there appear to be any construction project, repair project, anything of that nature near where this drop cloth was?
No.
Did the placement of the drop cloth there strike you as unusual?
Absolutely.
Did you notice anything else in that room?
Yes. I noticed like Home Depot bags. There was rope. I believe some of the rope was still in packages. And then also about that room, it looked like most of the furniture was pushed to the side to make room for that drop cloth.
Did you notice any protective equipment, such as masks, gloves, things of that nature?
I did.
Now, did you continue to go through the house from that point?
Yes.
As you were doing that, did you notice anything on the walls of the residence?
I did.
And what was that?
It was kind of odd. It looked like blood splatter, but I couldn't tell 100% because it could have been painted over or like try to clean up afterwards. But I did notice that on the wall. Yes.
Did that create additional concerns for you?
Absolutely.
Could you tell us what happened next as you continued to clear the residence?
So as we went down, there was one main hallway in the home. I did, from the second door on my right, I did notice, obviously the odor was significant. I did notice like fluid, consistent with like human decomp. And the floors were laminate, so you could see the fluid kind of leaking out into the hallway underneath that one closed bedroom door.
Is that something that you had seen before in your career?
I have seen that before, yes.
Now, after you noticed that in the hallway, did you go straight for that, or did you have to look into other rooms before you could make it?
No, we cleared every doorway as we approached it and didn't pass any points that we did not clear.
What did you see in the rooms as you cleared them?
So the first door on my left appeared to be a laundry room. It was filthy. It was like ransacked. The first door on my right was a closed bedroom door. I opened that up. That was the cleaner room of the house. It was still messy, but it looked livable and not like the remainder of the residence.
Did you see, blood on the walls or anything on the floor related to human decomposition in that room?
No.
After you finished clearing that room, where did you go next?
So it would be the second door on my right.
And what was in that room?
So when I opened that door, that's the door that had the fluid coming out on the laminate floor underneath the door. When I opened that up, I noticed that there appeared to be a body underneath a drop cloth, another drop cloth, or like a sheet. The cloth over top of it had fluid on it as well. Yes, and then also on top of that bed, I remember just like a large amount of like cleaning supplies, bleach. There was I think there was an incense thing on the counter. On the dresser. Yeah.
Was it? You said that was incense on the counter?
I believe it looked like an incense on the counter. Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry. It wouldn't be the counter. It would have been the dresser.
The dresser. Okay.
Yeah.
Was the incense successfully masking the odor at all?
No.
Okay. How intense was it at that point?
It was pretty significant.
Did you have a hard time going about your business due to the odor?
I do. We wear protective gears and masks. Mm-hmm. So we did have masks on prior to making entry because how strong the odor was.
And was that to protect yourself from the intensity?
Yes.
Now, you mentioned that it appeared to be a body wrapped in a drop cloth.
It didn't appear wrapped to me. Okay. It was laying kind of on top of it.
Okay. What parts were exposed that made it apparent to you that there was a body under it?
So nothing was exposed. If you guys ever watch horror movies or anything like that, it literally looked like a body underneath a sheet. Mm-hmm. It did appear that it was on its on the back, so laying down on their back, but I could not tell 100% because it was covered up.
Okay. Did you attempt to remove this covering and check on the individual under it?
No.
Why was that?
It was obviously deceased.
Okay. After you finished clearing that room, where did you move next?
Within the door on our left.
And what was inside that room?
That was a bathroom.
Okay. What was the state of that bathroom?
It was also ransacked.
Okay. Where did you move on after the bathroom?
So once going down the hallway, you have the two doors on your left and two doors on your right. And there's one immediate door in front of you at the end of the hallway, and that's the door we made entry into.
Okay. And what did you observe once you made entry to that room?
When I opened that door, I immediately observed another deceased person on the floor, right within the doorway.
What was the state of that body?
So that body, I could tell that they were on their back. They were wrapped up in a floor cloth, like a floor rug, I'm sorry. And obvious head trauma.
Okay. So fair to say then that the wrapping was not covering it sufficiently to mask the body as the first one was?
Correct.
Okay. Was it apparent that that person was deceased and could not be revived?
Yes. And oddly enough, there was a lot of head trauma, and there was like latex paint dumped. Almost looked like it was poured out over top of the individual. And that color paint was the same color as the exterior of the home.
Okay. Now, did you see any other unusual paint in that room?
Yes.
And what was that?
There was paint all over the walls. And it wasn't like someone painted the wall. It was almost like they had a cup of paint or a gallon of paint and just threw it all along the walls in the home and everything in it.
Okay. After you had observed this, what did you do next?
Continued to clear the residence.
Where did you go from there?
So in that room, that appeared to be the master bedroom. There was a connecting master bathroom, and that's where we continued to clear.
Okay. And did you see anything in the master bathroom?
Yes.
And what was that?
There was another deceased individual.
Okay. And what did you observe on that body?
Similar. I could not. This individual was covered up more than the one inside the master bedroom, but not as completely covered up as the one in the other room. Also, in a floor rug with paint and things like that dumped over the individual.
And was it apparent that that person was also deceased?
Yeah, similar head trauma.
At that point, had you finished clearing the house?
Yes.
What did you do next?
So once we cleared the home, we stepped outside the residence, secured it with crime scene tape, and then we would notify detectives and through our chain of command.
When you were in the residence, could you determine the identities of any of the bodies you had encountered?
I could not. The decomposition was pretty significant.
Once detectives arrived at the scene, were you asked to do anything else to assist in the investigation that day?
Yes.
And what was that?
They asked me if I could do a neighborhood canvass, try speaking with neighbors, see if anybody knows anything that could have happened or what had happened.
And did you do anything else to assist in the investigation from there?
No. Actually, I did. I would do scene security here and there.
And what is that?
So pretty much you hold a crime scene log, or you're just a uniformed officer in a marked car along the crime scene, making sure that it has its integrity still.
And is that to make sure that members of the public don't sort of walk through the crime scene or anything of that nature?
Yes.
Did that conclude your involvement in this investigation?
Yes.
Thank you. I have no further questions.
Any cross-examination?
No cross.
All right, thank you. Sir, you may step down. Thank you.